like to call the Tuesday, April 15th, Brooklyn City Board of Education regular meeting to order. Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal.
Is
Mr.
absent.
Hubble.
Here.
Ms. Rafter.
Here.
Mr. Rooney.
Here.
Ms. Crawl.
Here, please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In order for the board to fulfill its obligations to complete the planned agenda in an effective and efficient fashion, a maximum of 30 minutes of public participation as it pertains to school-related topics will be permitted at each meeting. Each person wishing to address the board will approach the podium and state his or her name and address. If several people wish to speak, each person will be allotted 3 minutes until a total time of 30 minutes is used. During that period, no person may speak twice until all who desire to speak have had the opportunity to do so. The period of public participation may be extended by a vote of the majority of the board. Is there anybody who wishes to speak?
Good evening, all. Nice to meet you.
Name and address,
Justin
please.
Fincham, 4744 Autumn Lane. I want to start right away with HB 96. So as the Ohio House says, as of now, still has to go through the Senate, we can only keep 30% on-hand reserves. So the district is sitting right now around 15.1 million reserves. And under that 30% mark, they will have to lose 9 million, leaving about 6 million. So that leads me to the 9 million that, unless I'm wrong, could have been put towards the $20 million March levy. That is the amount of interest alone on that $20 million levy, that 9 million. So we could have asked for 10 million, put that money, what we're gonna lose anyway, towards the 10, and saved at least 4 million in interest. Depending on interpretation, you could say, like the number swing, that's a $23 million swing. I know, Robert, but what I'm saying is, you can be interpreted that way. So, which, as I stated, would inevitably lead us to need more levies. So who are you gonna ask for the levies? You're gonna ask us, the homeowners and taxpayers. It's inevitable that you're gonna have to go to the people for more levies. So now, my point is, people are gonna wanna know if 10% of our schools outsiders, when they give their vote or give their money. In 1900, the student, that is 190,000. That's around 2% of the 9 million lost, 2%. So my question is that 2% worth the risk of future levies? I don't think it is, but maybe you guys do feel it is. I know I've heard from a few people, it's not about money, it's about programs. I'm fine with that, but which ones? What programs are we lacking numbers? I know girls basketball with short players, and that's the only one I've heard about. Is it band? Is it STEM? Is it debate team? Is it equestrian? We got horses that I don't know about. Where are we short at? Tell me. But I read the open enrollment applications, unless I'm reading the wrong one, I do not see any questions about student interests or needs or what extracurricular activities they currently participate in. So I spoke with a few applicants. They were not interviewed to see if they matched our needs. Our district states first come, first served. So how could we possibly be filling specific programs that are short if it's just who applies first? Those two things can't be simultaneously. It's impossible. So some districts are eliminating open enrollment to make sure they can pass levies because people get pissed off when it's their money. When they feel they're subsidizing, whether it's Parma, Cleveland, wherever kids. Levies in Ohio are already dicey as of now. Last year, 52% in March and 51% in November failed. New taxes, 83% failed. Renewals like the one we have up, 35% failed. And as this goes forth with the House through the Senate, you're gonna see that number rise. So I'm saying 100 kids in 1900, and I don't know what program it's filling, is a hard sell. I do not believe that it can touch the variable cost. I believe our variable cost per more. Now, if we get into our fixed costs, and even if we add that extra 100 and divide, we can still say we're, by numbers, $12,000 short per student. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? All right, we will move on to the superintendent's report with Dr. Clares.
Good evening, everybody. Before I introduce, just want to welcome everybody, introduce Mr. Jones. Want to welcome everybody from spring break. Hope you have a great extended weekend this coming up. At this time, I want to introduce Mrs. Jones. here to talk about a couple of our student wellness programs. And I will give it to Mrs. Jones.
Thank you. So at the end of last school year, Dr. Claris and I were looking at grant opportunities, and we came upon the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation grant. And with the help of Kelly Marsico and Susie Marquis, we wrote in the grant and received $15,000 for this school year. It is a partnership that we are proud to have with our Giant Eagle, and we serve 35 to 40 families a month. It is really a program that, and this specific grant looks how it impacts student learning. So although it is a great resource for our community and really needed, it really is providing an opportunity for our students with disabilities. So they learn to take inventory, fill the orders, they deliver to families at the pickup time. We have a rubric that all kids were given at the beginning of the year to assess their soft skills. And then mid-year, we'll do it again at the end of the year to write a final report. And actually, Martha Holden just sent a representative to see us last week, and she was, or the week before, but so impressed that she was encouraging us to go for another grant and look at how to expand even what we're doing. She talked to every kid, and it was really a great opportunity to show off what they're doing. But often our kids in district with the more severe disabilities don't have opportunities outside in the community to practice work skills and to learn these soft skills. So this gives them that opportunity. And then there's just some fun pictures of the kids. Right now, they work out of, what was it, concession stand, I guess, years ago. Snack bar. And so they have everything labeled so they can read an order and individually go and fill the order. And then they stand out back and parents pull up. We have AM and PM times, and they go get their names, figure out, somebody goes back, finds their order and brings it out to them. And this is what we send out every month with a link to the sign up. And what's really nice about it is there's autonomy for families to choose what they want. They aren't just pulling up and getting whatever we decide to give them. They choose, so they're shopping for what their family needs. And they really appreciate it. So
Something we're very proud of. I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
It's a need in it, but it's a way to incorporate it for our kids to give back to the community. So we're thrilled to have it.
Yeah, we'll have a nice sum left over that we have to spend it by the end of the year, so we'll do that, and that'll kind of jumpstart us for the new year. We're hoping to maybe even have a June pantry, but then we'll start doing food drives and things like that to get us going. And Susie's talked to some people who are interested in donating money so we can purchase other things that we need. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Part two, Andy and I were just talking about when, but I think it was about 7 years ago. I was at a VASA Women in Leadership Conference, and we had a presenter from, she was the person who developed this system called ROCKS, Rolling Our Experiences, and it's about empowering young girls. And I bought a t-shirt 7 years ago, so I'm glad I can still wear it. And so what Annie pointed out was back then, her first group, now seniors. And so there has been somebody in every grade along the way who's participated. So it's my pleasure to introduce our Girls of ROCKS.
This is where each of their 10-minute speeches is ready to go.
Yes, yes. Oop, let me go back, sorry. All right, so not only myself, but Hannah Ben-Saveni also does a group of ROCKS. You do the sixth grade.
Yes, I have a group of 5th and 6th grade girls.
It's like a mixed group. And then Kayla Armaro, she's doing our 9th grade ROCKS, and I currently do the 8th grade ROCKS girls. So we continued again because we had not done it like the last 2 years, but we're like, we want to try to get at least a group of girls at each grade level to be, we call it trained in rocks. And you asked, what is rocks? There's a little short hype video here we want you to watch. Kind of talks a little bit more about what it is. That there.
Things are hard for girls right now. The world is constantly telling us that we are not enough. Not pretty enough. Not quiet enough. Not smart enough. Not strong enough. Not perfect enough. Not doing enough. It can be exhausting. At Rocks, we say enough. We decide what's beautiful and what's strong. We define friendship and leadership and confidence. What girls can be.
Watch me live a strong, independent, safe, and courageous life.
I'm a rocks girl.
I'm a rocks girl. I'm a rocks girl.
I'm a rocks girl, and I'm brewing my own experiences.
So we wanted to kind of talk about some of the lessons we've been working with our girls on. So let me get to the next slide here. Oop, sorry. Escape. Stop. Oh, I gotta go to the next. Right here on the slide. Okay, slide. All right. So I had to replace one of the students that was going to be here. She was supposed to go with her sister to our softball game. So I want to introduce my two girls that I've been working with this year. And if you guys can step up front a little bit. Kebe Dolo and Sophia Varga. They're two amazing young ladies who have stepped it up a lot in the high school. They're only in 8th grade, but they are ones that volunteered to clean our fish tank. We've had this fish tank that we used to pay people to come and clean, and they come once a month, they clean the fish tank, they love doing it, they are just want to be involved in anything and everything. Kebe, as you can see, plans on playing softball and basketball in school, but she's also trying out for her Cats. And Sophia Varga, very animated, really, I'm trying to get her interested in doing the play, hopefully, because she's definitely got that spirit about her that she'd be a gift to like the play department. So hoping we can get her to do that. So just trying to get these girls involved a little bit more. So this is one of the first lessons we did, and it's a short video to watch just about girls, but you guys can turn around and watch. Yeah, and come back.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do, and just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl. Aww.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
I actually don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down, because during that time they're already trying to figure themselves out, and when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swim like a girl?
Keep doing it, because it's working. if somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Why can't run like a girl also mean like a race? So after watching the video, we had some discussion questions. I'm so bad at this, sorry. And our discussion questions. So just like we asked the girls, what reactions do you have about the video, ladies?
In my personal opinion, I feel like Run Like a Girl shouldn't exist. And I think that only because it's really stereotypical. And I feel like everybody is their own person, so you can't just say, oh, she runs like a girl, oh, he runs like a girl, whoever runs like a girl. Because everybody's their own person, they run in a certain way, they act in a certain way, they think in a certain way. That's just grouping everybody together negatively.
My honest opinion is I really don't like the starting of the video. I don't like what it infiltrates because girls can do as much things as boys can. They're just as strong, they're just as independent. And like saying that phrase like a girl doesn't really mean like slower or do it like you're playing or kidding. Girls can be as serious as guy can. So like that's my honest opinion.
So what are some things that hold girls back?
I think some things that hold girls back are definitely like self-confidence in themselves. Because if they see other people doing it but they don't think they have like enough to do it, or like enough confidence to do it, then they most likely won't do it. And I think it's like basically like what other people will think of them when they do something, like maybe that's like standing up for somebody or something like that. If somebody thinks about them negatively, then they might rethink about doing that.
So what are some positive things happening for girls?
Having other girls that can bring their confidence up and that can be there for them going through everything. It's like if people aren't there, like it's not the end of the world. There are still many girls or family or like anybody can come to or talk to or like just hang around. Like we're all here. We're not going to judge or say mean comments or say like, oh, you just want attention. No, we're going to be there.
We talk about support and how to support one another for everything. That's like the biggest thing, whether it's family, friends, even just, other peers. So what can we do to create a world that is better for girls, ladies?
In my opinion, what we can do to create a world that is better for girls is honestly just include more people and like encourage people to put themselves out there more, because when you put yourself out there, you realize that like things you may have thought were scary or like you would get judged on really isn't like that. You just have to be willing to take risks sometimes, and I think everybody should honestly be just as that goes for everybody.
And I think like trying plays a big part, because if there's like a certain thing that you really want to do and you're like, well, I'm scared to do it, I don't want to do it, I feel like I'm going to make a fool of myself, so what? You're trying. Like, you're going to improve. It's not the end of the world. You're going to get better as you go on, and the more you get better, like, the more it becomes known to people that, yes, I'm a girl, and yes, I can get better at certain things, or everything.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Okay. So, my 9th graders here, I have Camille. I'm not going to make her stand at the very front all by herself. This is Camille here. Camille is involved in Key Club and Rocks, and she let me know she is trying out for Hurricanes. So Camille is very involved, yes. She loves reading, doing her hair, spending time with family. And I had asked Camille what her favorite thing about being in Rocks is. And she had said the shared experiences with the girls in the group and building a sense of community. So that was really warmed my heart to hear. I meet with the girls once a week. We do snacks. We get to listen to music and talk and really build a lot of friendship amongst the girls. I had noticed when we first started, a lot of the girls were not interacting with each other quite as much, getting to know one another, and I think building that trust was super important. And I've noticed now that I see my girls talking out in the hallway a little bit more. In group, they're communicating so much more. So it's just been amazing to see their growth. On here as well, we have Xenia Niapez. She was not able to join us today, but she's also involved in book club, Greek dance club, which is super awesome, and Rocks. She loves to read, cook, and color. And she also said that being in Rocks is great for her because she has different role models in the groups, and she's found some good friendships among other girls. So, all good things. So we talked about the healthy navigation of social media, which I know is something that a lot of our teens are struggling with, especially our girls, and the messaging that they're seeing. So we will go over a little bit the lesson summary and the statistics, and then I'll have Camille talk a little bit about what her takeaways were and what was important for her. I asked the girls what their favorite lesson was to date, and this is the one that they picked. So they kind of had free range to talk about what they were comfortable with. She had noted here the lesson summary. We talk about social media, how impactful it's been with the way we communicate with one another. Often how girls are tearing each other down. We're really comparing one another, ourselves to other people, and who we follow is very impactful. We talked about the differences with self-view, the messages we receive on who we follow, and what we're taking in even if we're not consciously doing that. We talked a lot about our assertive rights, which is something that we talk about pretty much in every group session. We talk about how the girls have a right to be loved and respected, and just fundamental rights that they have as girls and as human beings. So I think reminding them of that they have the right to be happy and express themselves and have their opinions, and form those connections go a long way. Some of the statistics I wanted to share, which were really surprising for my girls and for me initially, was that high school girls spend an average of 6 hours a day on social media. I asked my girls if they thought that number was high or low, and they all told me that number was low.
We actually looked at
Yeah.
and we looked at their phones, like they were looking
The
and they're like,
usages?
oh, yes. We had a girl up to 12 hours a day on
Yes.
social, like on her phone, 12 hours a day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Banning cell phones. You heard it, girls.
I know.
I just said, how do you get 12 hours when you're at school for how many and you should be using it?
We're not sleeping. How it is. So I wanted to bring that stat up just because I know I was surprised, and then hearing that that was actually a low number for them, where that 6 hours was still mind-boggling for me. Really just stress the importance of having those conversations about social media and what they're interacting with. So Camille, if you want to talk a little bit about what your takeaways here were, you want to read off of this, it might be easier for you.
This lesson resonated with me because it made me reflect on how social media makes us view girls and the impact it can have on our self-esteem and the way we look at one another. And girls are often compared to one another or in competition with one another from social media. Like, people on social media have a certain view. They look at girls, but who's beautiful or who's pretty, and that's how girls look at that, and they see, like, I don't look like that, so I'm not beautiful. So that's what resonated with me for social media.
Thank you. And then I did ask Xenia the same question, why she chose that lesson as being something that was impactful for her. She said something very similar to Camille, but she also noted that it can get in the way of her completing homework. So spending so much time on social media, getting distracted, is impacting her schoolwork. And she said that some of the things that she sees, like arguments online, are really upsetting. If her classmates are going at it, her friends are doing whatever they're doing, if they're not agreeing, that carries over into school, and that's something that adds added stress to her throughout the day. So she said what was important for her for this lesson was on who she follows and the media that she looks at, and being a bit more selective about those things, especially spending so much time with them. Okay.
Here's the server here, if you want.
So I have a group of 5 fifth graders and 5 sixth graders, and I have Braylee and Elena with us. The other 2 couldn't make it, so Braylee stepped in. They're both leaders in the group, especially with those fifth graders. They look up to them. They're involved in student council. They're going to be a National Junior Honor Society, involved in sports, choir, theater. So they've been really great to have in the group. Our lesson that we picked was one of the first lessons that the girls really enjoyed, and it was all about team building. So it was, I think, like the second or third week. So it was really just to see the dynamics of the group and how the girls kind of communicated, and for me to observe as well. If you guys want to read what you thought.
So we had to get across the chocolate river as a team without any girls getting left behind. If we stepped on a marshmallow, it would get taken, so we couldn't use it anymore.
Half of girls are afraid to be a leader because they don't want others to think they are bossy. Half of girls don't disagree with others or say what they are thinking because they want to be liked.
Okay, some key takeaways are that we need girls to become strong leaders. Girls need to learn to use their voice, and speaking up is not a bad thing.
So that team building lesson was really just to see how the girls stepped up during something, who was going to take charge and who was kind of taking a back seat, and then going over those statistics, like why is it a bad thing to be a leader as a girl? Why aren't you using your voice? This was the pictures of the activity, so the girls all got to get in a line, and it was really fun. It took a couple tries to get it right at first. Mr. Larson also got to see this lesson. So it was really nice to see the girls connect, and we also meet every week, and it just gives those girls, all 10 girls in each group, another point person to go to. We know that the relationships are so important with adults, so each of these girls now have that other point person that they can go to if they need anything. And we sometimes go off topic and just talk about what the girls are interested in that day or things that come up. Like today, it was, who do you go to if your friend tells you something that is worrisome? So we talked all about that and who they can go to, who they can trust, and what you do in that situation. So it's just building that connection in those relationships as well. And these were just some of the statistics that were shared with us. So just a few of them. It really shows that first chart with where their confidence starts to decline. And it's about 5th or 6th grade, and then they never really gain that back. So really trying to target those girls younger and younger. And then the other ones, like that social media use, how much it increases as they get older. And then the support at school. So again, going along with those relationships and who they can talk to and who they can trust.
And I know Ms. Velez is here, but just kind of wanted to point out, she's one of those kids that our students go to. Like, I get a lot of information from her. Our girls, as well as boys, feel comfortable enough talking with her, and it's great that she's here. Well, her daughter's here, that's why she's here, but but I just wanted to mention how much, like, she has been a real big force in the high school of just kids coming and talking to her about different things that their challenges in life. And it's been great working with Ms. Velez and her giving us some, insight about our students as well, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick funny story about Sophia. I don't know if Sophia remembers this.
Oh, no.
So I know this is a high-powered group. So this was like, you might have been in 5th grade. So I'm walking in the hallway, and she goes, Dr. Claris. I'm like, yes. She's like, I would like to talk to you about dress code. I said, really? So we start talking, and I said, well, Sophia, do me a favor, send me an email, and we'll set up an appointment to talk. Sure enough, that next morning, I got an email from Sophia, a couple of her friends, and we ended up talking about dress code, and I can't exactly remember exactly what we talked about. I think I passed the buck and gave it back to Mr. Bolin or something like that, but I will say that act in itself is amazing because you don't see that a lot in high school students, let alone 5th graders. So, and part 2, I think I owe you guys a pizza party. So, Ms. Benevenzi, Mrs. Burr, Ms. Morrow, coordinate it, we'll be in touch. Thank you. Thank you. One quick follow-up, just want to talk a little bit about House Bill 96. So this is the budget that was released by the House and passed by the House last couple weeks. This impacts lots of different things, of which there's a 30% cap regarding property taxes and carryover balances and things like that. I will say that this has come out of left field from the House. There has been no talk of this within the last year. So from my standpoint, the connection between Sub-Bill House Bill 96 and our bond issue really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because this is new information within the last, let's just say, month and a half, 2 months. I will say we are still waiting to really hear what that final biennium budget looks like. In the next couple weeks, the Senate is going to reconvene, and they're going to begin their process of working through what that budget looks like. Once the Senate comes up with their budget, the House and the Senate will make a recommendation to the governor, and then the governor will sign by the end of June. I will say it's a wait and see. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really liking what I see out of the House, and Rob can kind of comment from his treasurer perspective. I'm not going to overreact yet in terms of what that means for the district or finances, because we just don't know what that's going to look like. There are other things in that budget bill that impact education, not only the finances, and so it's really a kind of wait and see. Just so the board's aware, I reached out to State Rep Chris Glassburn and Senator Tom Patton to set up a meeting with myself, Rob, regarding the impact of the House budget would have, or at least discuss finances regarding the district. I will give State Glassburn all the credit in the world. I invited him to our this past weekend's community open house. State Rep Glassburn showed up and went on the tour with me. We had a chance to talk regarding all things legislation, and I really appreciate him. He brought his wife and his daughter with him. I did invite Senator Tom Patton. He didn't respond, didn't show up, so I'm hoping that Senator Tom Patton would at least engage us in a conversation of what the budget impact of one of the districts that he represents. I will say the impact of Sub-Bill 96 across the state of Ohio looks to have quite a big financial impact on school districts. I don't know the exact, somewhere between $4 and $5 billion is the impact into public education. About $400 to $500 million across Cuyahoga County alone would be impacted. However, I'm going to pause. We're not going to overreact to what we see until we really see what that impact is from our local level. I will say, as always, we have a supportive community, we have a supportive staff, great students, great families, and so whatever this new challenge is, we will get through it. But I just wanted to make a clarification that Sub-Bill 96, this 30% cap, is new information. This is within the last 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, that's my report. Thank you.
I just want to say, as I met Representative Glassburn on Saturday as well, and he was very supportive of the schools. I think talking to him for 30 seconds, I know that he's very supportive of the schools. Okay, we'll move on to the treasurer's report with Mr. Shearhart.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, along with what Dr. Clara said, the original budget bill, when it came out, actually kept it at 25%. When it went back to the Finance Committee last Thursday, they increased it to 30. 30% is still not, it's still not good. Basically, my opinion would be that they're trying to force the districts to be fiscally irresponsible by doing that. There's reasons that district, and each district has their own story. And the reason behind that is when that reserve is there if it's needed for any purpose. There was a county where they, the county auditor made the districts in that county reduce their bond reserve. And what happened was, back in 2007, when the bottom fell out on the real estate market, none of the districts in this county had a reserve, had to go back and do new money, or they had to increase the levies in order to recoup the money so they could make the payments on their bond issues. So I know this is dealing more with general operational funds, but it kind of it follows the same reasoning. One of the other things with that percentage that wasn't really addressed by the House was, in the case of Brooklyn, we do not have a PI levy. And since we do not have a PI levy, we're required by law every year to take, in our case, $250,000 as a set aside and move it into the PI fund. They did not take that into account either. So by reducing it down to either the 30 or the 25%, then you have to take another $250,000 out of that pot to shift it over in order to do upkeep on the buildings. That's going to be even reducing it even more. So I'm hoping that when the Senate goes through, they will either adjust it or completely remove it in their version. Another thing too is, even when it goes through the Senate, if they don't touch it and it goes back to the governor never addressed that at all. So the governor does have line item veto power and can remove that from the budget bill as he signs it and approves it. So again, like Dr. Clara said, at this point, the budget does not have to be signed into law until June 30th. So I think, and at the OASBO conference, they were talking about that, and they were saying it's important right now to make contact with the representatives and the senators to try and get them to understand what's happening with each of the districts. But it's not, we don't want to be chicken little. We don't want to go crazy and think all these things are going to happen. There's still too much time and too many steps to go through for the budget, the state budget.
And I would just say, when I reached out to Senator Patton, I want him to come see what we do. I don't want him just to come here and talk about our finances. I want him to see the amazing things we do, and to have an intelligent conversation of what that potential impact is. But to be fair to the Senate, we really don't know where they sit on everything. Like I said, this House version of the budget really did come out of left field for everybody. It really took a lot of people by surprise, including administrators and school district officials. And so, again, I'm hoping Senator Patton, wants to talk with us, but I would encourage you to also reach out to him via email, and I can share his legislative aide's email address if any board member would like to reach out, or if any parent or community member wants to reach out to Senator Patton in terms of just telling our story, the good things we do in the district.
I just want to start out by going over the financials. For the month of March, we have received 100% of the local levy money, so we will not be receiving any more for the rest of this fiscal year. We're at 100% of that. Foundation money, year to date, we've gotten $1.9 million from the state. That's roughly 66% of the budget. Investments, we have for March received $83,000 on interest, and that's a total for through March 31st of $748,000 for the year. So hopefully by the end of the year we will make about $1 million in interest.
Rob, does that include? I'm sorry, does that include the bond issue interest?
No, that's outside.
Okay.
This is just
Thank you.
this is just
Thank
general
you.
fund.
Thank you.
And then for the other revenue, we've received $727,000. That would include like the CRA payments and some of the TIF money from the county as well. That is at $2.9 million for the year. Personnel and benefits are running about 79%, which is about what we should be running year to date for a service industry, which is what we are considered. Operations, we are at $3.2 million for the year. That includes everything else in gas, electric, anything else that runs the district other than salary and benefits. And that's running at 48.2% of the budget. So that's actually lower than what I had estimated over the prior years. Let's see. Oh, the other thing is I received a letter from the state auditor today, and the desk review of the audit from last year, fiscal year 24, has been approved. So that will be released to the public in the next couple days. So that's good news. That is my report.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on from to comments from board members and board committee reports, and start with Allison, please.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. I don't have any committee meeting reports for this month. I think next month we have a couple scheduled that I will be reporting on in May. I just want to say I hope that all of our students and their families and staff all had a nice spring break. I know we have another 3-day weekend coming up. And before you know it, or 4 day, you're right.
The kids aren't here.
Okay. Okay. But I know that, once they come back from next weekend, it's a lot of stuff to do in a short amount of time before the end of the school year. I just wanted to say thank you to our Rocks girls. Like, I wish they were still here, but I'll say to you, Ms. Jones, like, they rock. They really do. I wish programming was like that when I was in school, because I think a lot of girls could have boost their confidence more. So I love what you're doing, and with the other advisors too. Please tell them and the girls they rock. They really do. They're doing a great job. I appreciate it. I just want to thank our alumni and community members for coming out this past Saturday for our spring open house. I did not go on the tour because I've been on the tour, but I did see.
The tour guide was just amazing.
But
That's what I heard.
I did see, and I did talk to several alumni that were here, and they said it brought back so many memories, but they can't wait to see what it's going to look like when the renovations are done. So that made me feel good. Congratulations to our flag football team. I talked to one of the players today, and she reminded me that they have their last home games on Friday, the 18th. I think they're 4-4. I think that's what she said. So I'd like to see that. And then two things I really want to kind of include our community in. It's very, very important. We're having a special meeting next week, Tuesday, the 22nd, to talk about our renewal levy. I think it's very important for our community to understand what a renewal levy is versus what a new levy is versus what a bond issue is. And I would encourage you to come to that meeting so you can hear about the renewal levy. Before I became a board member, I've been in education for 35 years, and I know whether this district, the district that I worked in, it's so important that we pass these levies. And again, when you hear about this levy that's coming up for you to vote on May 6th, the renewal is no new monies to the residents. If we don't, our companies and our community, you know, they're not gonna be paying taxes. We vote, they don't vote, but they have to pay. So it's very important that, you know, we get out there and that we vote. And again, if you come to that meeting, you'll understand. A lot of presidents, or a lot of residents that I ran into, you know, they wanna know, well, we just passed this bond issue, you know? Bond issue money is used for other things. This renewal levy is much different. So, please make sure you come out and vote. And, that's all I have, Ms. Crowe.
Thank you. I'm gonna mix things up and go to Jason Hall.
Knocked it out. I was all prepared. I typed it up and everything.
Thank you. Today we had an alumni association meeting. We are in the process of finalizing the bylaws and making the whole thing official. So I just want to give a rundown of timeline. So at the end of April, we will be opening nominations for office, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. You have to be a Brooklyn alumni, but we will send out communication. Anybody that is interested in nominating anybody, look for that at the end of April. May 17th, we'll end the nominations, and we will open up voting. And then on May 31st, the voting will end. And then we'll have a meeting on June 3rd, where we kind of finalize the positions held and to kind of start this thing up and running. We have had some donations, and we will be issuing scholarships. So any current student, please look for that, apply. It'll be 4 scholarships, one for arts, one for athletics, one for academics, and one for trade. So please look out for that. Talk to Mr. Ross. Fill out anything you need to fill out. Try to earn yourself a scholarship. Want to thank everybody that came out to the alumni walkthrough, the craft fair, the extravaganza. It was awesome. There were so many people here. So many just cool things going on. Running from tours to picking up eggs in the field with my kids. It was awesome. Face paint, everything. I mean, it was a great event. So look out for that. Hoping to make that a yearly thing. A new tradition here at Brooklyn. It was awesome. If you couldn't make it this year, come next year. Thank you to the Rocks girls. That presentation was awesome. Anything we can do to make people feel included and increase confidence. I mean, it's an amazing thing to see. So thank you to everybody that's put in the work to do that, and everybody involved. It's an awesome program. Finance meeting. Mr. Hezroni kind of has a little something, so I'll let him dive into a little more. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I have my full faith in Treasurer Shearhart. The numbers he's running and everything, it's a lot of work. There's so much going on and so many things that could change. But everything he's doing, everything we're doing is for the school, for the students, for, like I said, he's got a lot to say, but we got a lot of good things happening in a time where maybe not a lot of good things happening. So, yeah, and then special meeting, like Allison said, next week, Tuesday, the 22nd. This levy is very important. It's kind of unique in the sense that failing this levy is not going to save you any money. Passing this levy is not going to cost you any extra money. So it really makes so much sense to support this levy because, like Allison said, the only people that can pay, that can win in this by failing it are the companies within Brooklyn, the businesses. So no reason to get them off the hook. We should support it like we've been supporting the school and get out and vote. And thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, now it's your turn.
Oh, that's what we're gonna do. Thanks. Thank you, Ms. Kroll. Good evening, everyone. Couple things I wanted to bring up. I'll do the easy stuff first, then we'll get into some other things. Want to thank everybody for the open house and extravaganza. The craft show was cool. How many vendors did you have?
We had 32 tables.
That's awesome. So it was such a cool experience to see the tours, the vendors. How many people did you guys have doing the tours?
Between 75 and 100.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the first two groups were full, third one thinned down a little bit, but it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think there was 300 kids that did the extravaganza.
Yeah,
So it was such an amazing event that the school pulled off, and it was just really cool. And I wanted to say real quick, I talked to a parent that was looking confused, and she's like, "Is this the high school?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "Have you been here before?" She's like, "No, my kids are starting open enrollment next year." I'm like, "Oh, that's wonderful. How did you hear about it?" She's like, "I heard about the program." I said, "No ties to Brooklyn?" She said, "Not at all. But I got 4 kids, and she's gonna bring the kids to the school." And she was just amazed by just that one day how everything we were doing. She's like, "This is amazing." So it was really, really cool to see that. The Rocks girls, they were awesome. And I got to tell you guys, the one thing I will tell you that when I graduated from here a long time ago, I did not walk out of here confident. I didn't. I was scared. College was coming up. I was scared. Everybody you guys bring in front of us, every single one, the leadership people, these girls, they're just so confident at that age. It's just unbelievable. And it's just amazing to see that. And if they walk away, of course we want the education. If they walk away that confident out of high school, I mean, that's enough for me. So good job on that front. April 30th, the middle school will be performing Moana. That's where you live. Moana at 7 p.m. I encourage you to attend because somebody that I know is going to be the lead in that, so my daughter. So if you guys could run up there and check her out and support her, that'd be fantastic.
She's giving autographs. It's all
Yeah, she'll have the flash photography and everything. But no, all the kids are doing great. So if you guys come up there and check them out, that'd be awesome.
What time is that?
That is 7 o'clock on Thursday, the 3rd. Is it Thursday? Yeah, April 30th. Tomorrow evening, the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce is going to be hosting a career and college fair from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I want to thank Dr. Clares for letting us host it here, Sandy for putting it together for us, and Supriya for hooking us up with all the most of the vendors and colleges that we have coming up there. So very excited about that. There's going to be over 20 organizations there, so we're really excited about that. May 10th, the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce will be hosting a Mother's Day pancake breakfast from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Brooklyn Senior Center. I want to thank Rob and Maggie Slattery for coordinating that. You do have to sign up for that. It's $10, and there's a link on the website, the chamber website.
How much for the mothers?
$10. Sorry, we have to pay for the pancakes. So you'll see all the details online. Let's see here. I want to talk a little bit about the financing thing. So I've owned a business for 21 years, and that confuses me. School financing is 10 times harder. It's a very complicated system, and especially the state doesn't make it easy for everybody. House Bill 96, we can't make decisions on House Bill 96 because we don't know what's happening. And every day they're changing it, it changes rapidly. So we have to go with the information we have in front of us. And right now, what I see in Brooklyn and other school districts, Lakewood just announced today, they're expecting to have a decrease of 300 students over the next couple of years. Brooklyn's in that same boat. So programs right now are, somebody had mentioned earlier, the girls' basketball team had to forfeit or couldn't play a couple games. There was a middle school football game. They didn't have enough players almost not to play a game. So our enrollment is declining, and there's a lot of reasons for that, namely voucher programs and such. So we have to make decisions based on the facts that we know now. One of those big decisions was open enrollment. I've told Justin, I'm not showing you out.
I hate to cut you out. I know it's one place.
Yeah.
I have to get Liam.
Go do
I
your
don't
thing.
wanna, act like I'm
You're good, buddy.
Even in the middle of talking. I've told him I'm so
That's your
sorry.
son. Don't be.
I swear to God.
No, don't worry about it. You are good.
I keep getting
Well,
the text, but
I want to make sure you heard me say your name. I don't want you to think I'm talking when you left.
And
So.
I'll walk in and I'll take.
All good, buddy.
I apologize.
No.
I didn't know rocks would go that long. I loved it.
All good. You're good, brother.
I gotta get Liam.
Have a great day. Take care. Thanks for coming.
So there's been talk about, you know, it is not, to me, it's not a money issue. It's an efficiency issue where we have the teachers in place, we have the seats for the students to get to, and if we make extra money doing it and not lose money, it's all fair game. So my point is, we don't have all the facts right now, and as Dr. Caleres and Treasurer Sherhart do for all of us, is give us the facts and tell us what is best for the district, and that's what I'm going to follow, and not reading the news and getting, it's going to be what they say, because they got the school's best interest in their hearts, so I'm good with that. So I will close with that, and one last thing, happy Easter, God bless to everybody. I hope you guys enjoy, have a safe holiday with your family. Thank you so much.
Mr. Neal isn't here, but he just sent us a lovely picture from his Polaris meeting, so I just want to.
Is he eating?
Yes, it's some kind of chocolate something or another. It's half eaten, so that was really nice of him.
Sandy, saving the rest for you.
Can't help himself. You're okay.
I was going back and forth on what I wanted to talk tonight, but because I'm exhausted. I have a full-time job. Most of us, we have full-time jobs. And, I average 45 to 50 hours a week, depending on the time of the year, and the board is a part-time job. And, we get paid each meeting we attend, and anything else is on our own time. And I'm not complaining about that, but I just want to point out that I'm not doing this for the money. We do this because we truly have a vested interest in the school district in our town. And while I may no longer have a current student in the district, I don't think that should bar me from having an active role in our educational community. Not having a current student doesn't make me less qualified or less of a stakeholder than having one. And it's kind of offensive that would even be an issue. But as I stated, everything outside meetings is on our own time, which is attending events and committee meetings and one-on-ones with Dr. Caleres and reading and responding to emails. And while I know that those things are a part of the position I was elected to, constantly having to debunk misinformation is quite exhausting and unnecessarily eats into my personal time. And it's starting to become quite infuriating that we, as a board, have to tirelessly reiterate facts due to dishonest claims and accusations, trying to discredit the Board of Education. And I hate being called a liar. As I spoke at council last night, and as someone who owns their home and pays taxes, I am completely supportive of parental choice. However, it does get frustrating that the funding model sends our tax dollars to outside districts. But by accepting open enrolled students, it will be Brooklyn receiving approximately $1,900 per student from those districts. And to clarify some inaccurate statements being made, there is no negative net impact per student. We are not increasing expenses. We are not collecting additional tax dollars. Cost per student is not a literal amount we pay to educate each student, and it's an absurd argument against open enrollment. Declaring I don't want my tax dollars to pay for non-Brooklyn residents is ludicrous when your tax dollars are literally leaving the district and funding other schools. In the last week, and actually somebody that came to my own home, I have spoken to a handful of residents and homeowners that have endorsed the decision that was made, and I'm really excited for the families that have been or will be accepted because they truly want a great educational experience for their children. I'm also looking forward to the open enrollment data, which will be shared May 6th, which also happens to be Election Day. Issue 19 is the renewal levy that will not increase taxes, but it also will not decrease taxes if it fails due to the 20 mil floor. I tried explaining this last night at council as well. The state of Ohio has a 20 mil floor in place, and due to the home values rising, the millage has gone down. And if this levy does not pass, we will fall below the 20 mil floor. There will be no impact to residents as they will not see a decrease in taxes, but the commercial property tax will cease, and the district will lose approximately $750,000 per year. And specific questions can be directed to Mr. Sherhart in the treasurer's office. And again, he and Dr. Caleres are your best sources to obtain accurate and truthful information. We will also be having a special board meeting on April 22nd to engage the community regarding the renewal levy and answer any lingering questions in a respectful and organized fashion. Thank you to everyone who came out Saturday to our triple event. There were so many people on campus, and it was very cool to see the excitement of the alumni and the visitors touring the school, and the hundreds of kids that got to egg hunt and hang out with the Easter Bunny. I would also like to thank Mrs. Neal and her team for everything they did to set up and clean up, and I'm looking forward to next year. And then the Rocks girls, that was really cool. And Sophia, she was the little one. She's and I didn't want to say anything and embarrass her, but she said, you know, to put yourself out there, and who cares what anyone thinks. So I fully expect to see her putting herself out there and auditioning for the drama club.
There you go.
And then that is the end of my report. Have a great long weekend.
May I speak?
Hmm?
May I speak?
I guess.
Yes, sorry. I forgot to mention the most important thing on the Finance Committee report. We had a meeting yesterday, and I'm very thankful that Michelle from Stifel had come in and talked to us about some things going on with the bond that we had in 2013 for the middle school. There's a couple things that historically, and then what we're looking towards the future. 2017, that bond was refinanced, and right now, in her opinion, and with Rob Sherhart talking about this, it's not callable to refinance until 2027, correct? So what's happening is that we have the opportunity to vote on something that I think is very important for the community. So Rob cut me off if I start saying this wrong, but where we are in the levy, the mill is 4.8, and where we can be is at 4.6. So if if that's deducted, we can save the taxpayers money. And I think it's in best interest for us and for the community to be able to do that. And with the numbers that we figured out, it would save the taxpayers $2.4 million, giving that back to the community.
Over the life of
the bond, which is, what's the 2049, I think?
Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be
2049 is what the bonds go through there. Yeah.
So it's a savings about $100,000 for the next 24 years that would go back to the community. And I wanted to reiterate to the community that like I said earlier, Dr. Clares and Treasurer Sherhart seriously have the best interest of the community at heart. And I think with them presenting this to us and us, voting on this tonight, if we can pass this resolution to get that lowered and give the money back to the community, will be a savings of $2.4 million. So thank you for indulging me.
Then we will move on to the treasurer's consent agenda.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
I don't know who's going to take it. Go ahead.
So what I have here is the board minutes from the March 18th meeting and the April 7th meeting to be approved. I have the March financial statements as of March 31st. Those include the statement of net position, the cash reconciliation, the board cash summary report, the revenue summary report, and the check summary report. And we also have a donation, let me read this one, from Sarah Galaras. It's a donation of 275 boxes of Girl Scout cookies for the Brooklyn Cares Easter baskets. And that is valued at $1,650. And looking for the approval of the consent.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Thank you, Ms. Galarza, for
Yes,
the
that's
donations.
Really awesome.
We didn't get any, but thank you.
I was going to say something mean, but I won't. Mr. Sherhart, will you call a roll, please?
Mr. Huzaruni.
Yes.
Ms. Rafter.
Yes.
Mr. Hubble.
Yes.
Ms. Crawl.
Yes. And then on to the upper
Section,
class.
yeah, section 5, superintendent's administrative agenda. Item 5.1, a commendation for our academic and athletic commendations for the third quarter. Item 5.2, commendations for our students that participated in the Tri-C Jazz Festival. Item 5.3, student commendations for our students that participated in the Power of the Pen competition. Item 5.4, student accommodations for our National Technical Honor Society inductee. Item 5.5, student accommodation for youth art participation. Item 5.6, student accommodations for our Polaris-sponsored competition of Polaris Palooza that occurred in March. Item 5.7, in employing board legal services. So quick explanation, we originally approved Weston Hurd for legal services for special education. Our special education attorney is moving to Retzel and Andrus. So we have a couple, I don't want to say open cases, but we've had some cases with her. We've used her for 5+ years. I would ask the board to approve Ms. Perico working through Retzel and Andrus. It's no impact financially on the district, it's same rates, things of that nature, but that's the explanation on that. Item 5.8, approval of the agreement with College Now Greater Cleveland. This is typically, cost is approved or covered through grant funds annually. Item 5.9, this is our 5-year agreement with Neonet for internet access and transport of our data. Some of this cost will be covered through E-rate funding. Don't have those totals yet, but that will be some grant funds that will apply for that annual total. Item 5.10, this is an agreement with Total Education Solutions Therapy for summer extended year services for our students. Item 5.11, this is an agreement for the extension of, with the City of Brooklyn for our agreement for our school resource officer during the school year. Same terms, really nothing, it's just the extension of that agreement. Item 5.12 would be the approval of the consent agenda. Any questions before we approve that? There's a lot there.
5.9, the agreement with the Neonet, does
Yeah.
that include the new building as well?
It does.
Okay.
It does, yes.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr.
Oh,
Ezra?
you already asked a question. Okay, any more questions
I
or
have a
comments?
comment, sorry. Just want to congratulate all the students that's recognized in here. Some great, you know, the Power of the Pen, the Jazz, the Honor Society, the arts. I mean, again, it's testament to what the school can offer. It's a great job.
Ditto.
Yep.
Now may you please call the agenda, or call the roll.
Mr. Hezaroni?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
Ms. Kroll, before we move on with the personnel consent agenda, I'd like to make a recommendation that we pull out individually Brittany Hubble under 6.3 so we can vote individually on her limited contract.
So, okay, do that first?
Yeah, well, we would have to do a roll call to amend the
Okay,
agenda.
so a motion to amend the agenda to pull out Mrs. Hubble from 6.3.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
And then,
Mr. Shearer.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hezaroni?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
And Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
And we can either vote on that individual item now, or we can do it after the consent agenda. Your choice.
I can just read it now.
Okay, yeah.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves granting a limited contract for the 25-26 school year for the following certified teacher as noted, compensation and/or steps to be determined by negotiated agreement and on file in the Treasurer's Office, Brittany Hubble. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hezaroni?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Abstain.
And Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
Item 6.1 of the consent agenda, this is the certified teaching employment for 25-26 school year. These are our new positions that we're going to be hiring for next school year. Item 6.2, we're going to amend the resolution for a classified resignation. Item 6.3, the approval of our limited contract certified teaching staff for next school year. Item 6.4, amending the resolution of certified employment for our new Title I tutor. I didn't give her enough credit, so we're amending that. Make sure she gets the credit she deserves. Item 6.5, for the 25-26 school year, certified employment of our Title I tutors and educational assistants. Item 6.6, supplemental assignment, intramural supervision for Mr. Carl and Mr. Urick. Item 6.7, the classified employment of a new employee, a new cleaner. So this is as a result of a resignation. And then 6.8, approval of unpaid leave of absence from those employees. Item 6.9, the approval of the staff for the 2025 summer cleaning. Item 6.10, this is the student summer workers rate. Just clarification, the student summer worker rate is minimum wage, $10.70 an hour. The summer tech intern, reason it's a little bit higher, it's funded through a grant through the state. So as part of the grant, they require us to offer a little bit more from a hourly wage. And then approval of the 6.11, approval of the consent agenda.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Rosanoni?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Crawl?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the resolution accepting the tax year 2025 amounts and rates as determined by the County Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county fiscal officer. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Shearhart, will you
Did,
call?
I'm sorry, did you want me to
Yeah.
talk about it?
Can you explain a
Oh,
little bit?
yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, like Mr. Rosanoni said earlier, this is a bond issue that was originally done back in 2013 for the Brooklyn School to be built. To 4 years later, the bonds were, they had a law in place at the time where if the market was better interest rate wise, you could actually refinance the bonds, and that's what the district did at that point. When they were originally issued, they were 36-year bonds at 5.29%. The refinancing in 2017 lowered them to 32-year bonds instead of taking them back out to 36 again. Took them to 32-year bonds at 3.77%. So that actually reduced the debt service about $1.6 million at that point. These bonds currently will not be callable until, like we talked about, December 1st of 27. At that point, when they are callable, I will contact Stifel and we'll figure out if we will save money based on the market and the interest rates at that time. So because we cannot refinance them at this point, we have built up a bond reserve in the bond retirement account. We can use that money to offset some of the interest and principal payments going into the future. So after talking with Stifel, which is Michelle, and I also contacted our bond counsel about it, and we would be able to, and the county. Right now, the millage is set at 4.85. That millage does not, because it's a bond issue, it does not decrease. So what we can do, if the board, wants to do this and approves this, we can actually lower it to 4.6 mils. What that would do is that would alleviate some of the burden to the residents of Brooklyn, to the tune of about $100,000 a year. So over the life of the additional 24 years for these bonds, it would save about $2.4 million and put that money back into the residents' pockets. And depending on where the market is in 2027. If we do refinance, depending on what the outstanding balance of those bonds would be at that point, there are different options that we could do. We would either pay down and not take as many bonds out, or we might be able to do them shorter term. But that's going to be a whole new analysis at that time, because it will be based on the interest rates. There would be a slight cost to the refinancing, because we have to go back out to market and everything. So we would definitely, I would definitely make sure that the savings would outweigh the cost of a new issue. Or, I'm sorry, not new issue, but a reissue. So that my recommendation would be to reduce the 2017 bonds to the millage to 4.6.
And by reducing to 4.6, we still leave ourselves a decent cushion, correct?
There still is a cushion. I don't want to reduce it too far, because then we'd have to go back out and, yeah. So, yes, we would still have a cushion, we would still be building that cushion. And then at that point, that's what we'd use, that cushion, to buy down the bonds if we were to refinance anytime after 2027. They're callable anytime after that.
And you can only use the money that's in the cushioned account to pay down
Yes.
the debt.
Yes,
No other
it cannot be used for any other purpose.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Nope. Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hezrouni?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
And Ms. Kroll?
Yes. Whereas the Brooklyn Board of Education places great importance on its students, and whereas a quality education is essential to the development of our youth, and whereas an outstanding faculty, administrative, and support staff are key in such development, and whereas Brooklyn is fortunate to have a team of dedicated professionals committed to the success of all children, now be it therefore resolved on April 15th, 2025, that the Brooklyn City Schools Board of Education has designated May 5th through May 9th, 2025 as Staff Appreciation Week, which shall be observed in recognition of the outstanding contributions made by all of our staff members in the nurturing and development of our students. Thank you for all that you do for our students and families. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions and comments?
Thank you so much for everything you
We
do.
appreciate you all.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hezrouni?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
Ms. Kroll?
Yes.
We've already done 8.2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the announcement of our special board meeting Tuesday, April 22nd, in this room at 6:15 p.m. It will be I don't want to say open forum, but it'll be very organized, where we will answer questions related to the levy only, which I guess was kind of what 8.4 was.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like, because it's a special meeting, that if we want to talk about anything else, financial update, whatever, we have to make sure we notice it. Yeah, we notice it right away. So that's why I have that on there, just in case the board wanted us to do a quick financial update, like whatever it may be. Yeah.
So I mean, if we're gonna be talking about the renewal levy, you guys can do your factual, which is pertaining to that. I would probably like to bring up, no, we'll stick with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. And I'll make sure this information gets out to, I think Rob's noticed it officially, but
Is discussing this tax saving allowed as part of this?
So what I'll do is we'll make sure it also includes a financial update, just so we're covered, and then we'll go from there. And financial update, renewal levy, May 6th, and then we'll go from there. Yep, absolutely.
So is there any other handouts or information that we could have available to our residents if they?
Yeah, I'll talk to Rob, and we'll have information for staff or anybody that shows up. Yeah, absolutely.
You carry that with you everywhere?
I carry this with me, understanding school levies, I understand them
Is
now.
there any other business? Okay, then the announcement of our next regular so the next meeting is Tuesday, April 22nd in room 173 at 6:15. Our next regular board meeting is Tuesday, May 6th in the treasurer's office conference room at 6:15 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Shearhart, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Ezra?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mr. Hubble?
Yes.
And Ms. Crawford?
Thank you.
Thank you.